9 years ago, when most of you were probably still toddling around primary school, the Ice Bucket Challenge took the internet by storm. And ordinary people and famous people all got involved to douse themselves in freezing cold ice water to raise awareness for ALS, which is a form of motor neuron disease. And back then in 2014, the Ice Bucket Challenge raised $115 million for the ALS Association. And today, the Ice Bucket Challenge is back. And it's the Speak Your Mind Ice Bucket Challenge. It was started by a group of university students in South Carolina, a group called Mind. And as of today, they have raised $410,675, make that $85. And with the theme of today's Ice Bucket Challenge being mental health, I thought what better topic for us to think about this week in Thought Bubble. So let's have a think about that. Your mental health, my mental health. How can we deal with it? How should we even be thinking about it? Well, let's head to the court. Now, if I grab a tennis ball and I throw it down on the ground, what's going to happen? Well, it's pretty obvious, really. If I throw it down on the ground, it's going to bounce back up. And if I throw it down again, guess what happens? Exactly the same. A tennis ball lives its life going down and up and down and up, and that's just normal because that's what happens. It's in its nature to go down and up and down and up. And people can be a lot like that. You and I can be very, very similar. If I have a tennis ball, it's not just going to be up in the air all the time. It goes down and then it comes back up again. We're similar to that. We're not just always going to be up in our feelings and our thoughts, in our mental health all the time. We'll have periods, we'll have times where we're down. But just like it's normal for a tennis ball to be up and down and up and down, if you find yourself down, it doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong. It's normal for us to be up and down. So if you find that one day everything's fine and you feel great and life's good, and then the next day you kind of feel, I don't quite feel how I did the day before. Is there something wrong? Well, probably not, no. Because that's what we're like as people in this broken world that we live in. Things can be up, but then things can sometimes be down, but it's this cycle. So we're up one day, maybe next day we're feeling a little bit worse, but then things pass, things change, we come back up again. And that's normal. But what if I threw a tennis ball down and it didn't come back up? Then we could be like, oh, maybe there's a problem. And if we are down and low and we find it hard to come back up, what do we then do? Because with this tennis ball, the reason it isn't coming back up is because it's a bit broken. So when we feel like we're a bit broken and we find it hard to come back up like normal, what can we ask ourselves? What can we do in that situation? Let's think. There are 3 really simple questions that we can ask ourselves when we're feeling like that. 3 questions that we can check ourselves with and see how we're doing. First one, are my feelings always facts? Are my feelings always facts? Because a lot of the time we can feel something, but is that feeling reality? Is that feeling true? See, I can feel like no one really cares about me. I can feel like I'm not really worth anything. I can feel like no one's ever going to listen to me. I can feel like I'm just not very good at anything. But I can feel all of those things, but are those feelings facts? Do my feelings match up with reality? Or am I feeling something that actually isn't true? See, I can so easily sometimes feel, does anyone even care? But then I have to check myself and look at the facts, look at what I know to be true, look at reality, look at the friends I have in my life, look at the family I have in my life, the people at church who I have in my life, people in school who I know for a fact do care. And so I look at those facts, I look at the things I know, and then I look at my feelings and I think, my feelings aren't matching up with what I know is true. That is something that really helps me to think, is this thing that I'm feeling right now, is it actually true? Is it actually reality? Does what I know change the way I feel? Are your feelings the facts? Second question, are you nourishing your noggin? Are you nourishing your brain, your mind? So we can put so many things into our heads. We can feed our minds with so many different things. But a lot of the time, to be honest, how often are we feeding our minds with our phones and the internet? And we're just constantly scrolling and looking at things. And the thing we're feeding our mind with comes from TikTok. It comes from Snapchat. All the comparisons we have with other people, we're filling our minds with that. Or all the insecurities that we have about ourselves, we're filling our minds with that. What we fill our minds with affects so much about us. And a lot of people today talk about meditation, and they kind of talk about emptying your mind of all things and just being at peace and emptying everything. But I've always thought, if I'm emptying my mind, surely I'm leaving room for those bad thoughts and feelings to creep back in. Is there a better way to go about it? I think there is. The Bible actually talks about meditation, but it's not in the kind of cross your legs and empty your mind. It's not that kind of thing. When the Bible talks about meditation, it's not emptying your mind, it's actually filling your mind. It's filling your mind with good thoughts to replace the bad ones. See, once our minds are full of good, noble, true, excellent things, then that doesn't leave much room for the bad things to creep in. And one part of the Bible that I fill my mind with more and more recently is Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, which is a promise of God to those who believe in him. And he says this, "Fear not, for I am with you. Don't be dismayed, for I am your God. Yes, I will help you. I will strengthen you. I will uphold you by my righteous right hand." That's God's promise to me. And I fill my mind with that. Sometimes when I feel upset or worried or anxious in a day, in school I sometimes do this. I'm in a situation and I'm thinking, I'm not doing well here. I'll bring that thought to my mind. I'll bring that promise of God to my mind. I'll nourish my noggin with truth, with good thoughts that God is with me. God's gonna protect me. He loves me. He cares for me. He's here with me. What are you putting into your head? Are you putting in kind of insecurities from the world, different voices telling you things that aren't best for you, that aren't stable for you? Or are you filling your mind with good things? What are you nourishing your noggin with? And then thirdly and finally, are you acting like an island? Are you acting like an island? An island is just this solitary little place away from everyone else, isolated and alone. Can you sometimes act like that? Can I sometimes act like that? The answer to that is yes. We can so easily do that. when we feel down, when we feel just tired and weary, can we be like that and push people away and take ourselves off and just want to separate ourselves from other people? Well, we thought last week in collective worship of Ecclesiastes chapter 4, where Solomon writes, two are better than one. Because if there's one person, how are they going to fight? How are they going to defend themselves? How are they going to keep warm? How are they going to care for themselves? But if there's two, if there's people who aren't alone, then they have each other's back. Then they care for one another. Then they support one another. If one's in a fight, the other's there to defend. If one's suffering, the other can back them up. They're stronger together. You and I, we're stronger when we're together. But do we so easily become an island? We force ourselves into this isolation that isn't actually going to help us. We are so much better and stronger when we're together. So, first question, can you remember it? Can you? Because I'm trying to remember it. First question is, well, this is embarrassing. What was the first question? I'm going to look at my notes. I'm so sorry. I never normally do this. Normally I'm so slick and so, on it. Today, it's not my day. There we go. Pretend that didn't happen. First question. Are my feelings facts? Second question. I've forgotten that one too. Deary me, I'm not doing well today. I'll keep this here, I'll just read it. Second question. Am I nourishing my noggin? Are you? Third question. Am I acting like an island? Those three things are little questions we can ask ourselves to bring ourselves back, to help ourselves when we feel like we're that broken tennis ball, when we feel like we're down. And I've found more than anything that the people God's put in my life, they're incredible. But God himself, the peace that he brings, beats everything. But it's quite a nice day. Should we get down to business? I mean, I've brought up the Ice Bucket Challenge. You might be thinking, oh, come on, Josh, are you going to do it? Well, I'm going to have to. Because some of you have nominated me, haven't you? Very funny. There's some buckets over there. I have to do this. Let's get on with it. It's waterproof. It's fine. Yeah. So part of the reason why we've talked about the Ice Bucket Challenge today is because 5 of you have nominated me to do it. So Daisy, thank you very much. Charlotte, thank you. Millie, Grace, Aoife, thank you. So here we go. So I would like to nominate. We'll go with the boys in pastoral. So, Mr. Cannock, I nominate you. Mr. Pilkington, you have to do this as well. Thank you. Who else? Mr. Cannock, Mr. Pilkington, Mr. Roberts, you have to do this as well. And we'll also go for the boys in PE. So Mr. Gorn, Mr. French, you have to do this. And Mr. Bailiff. So, sirs, I nominate you. I give you till the end of half term. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day. Oh, I'm so cold. Oh.